ABC.
Action News, Delaware Valley's leading news program with Deuces Rogers, meteorologist Cecily Tynan, and Brian Taft.
It's a tragedy that hits home and hits hard. This is the scene where investigators are combing through the wreckage of a helicopter crash that claimed the lives of 2 men on board late last night. That helicopter was Chopper 6. Those 2 men are treasured colleagues. It is Wednesday night, and the big story on Action News tonight is hard to vocalize: the death of 2 members of our extended Action News family and the investigation into how it happened. 67-year-old pilot Monroe Smith and 45-year-old photographer Christopher Doherty were en route back from an assignment at the Jersey Shore last night, returning to the hub at Northeast Philadelphia Airport. Part of the way into that journey, flight data shows Chopper 6 lost altitude over the Wharton State Forest, disappearing from radar and losing communication. Hours later, we came to know why. The iconic helicopter crashed in the very thick woods of that state land in Chemung Township, killing both men as they did the job they loved. We have team coverage of this truly horrific situation tonight. We'll check in with Maggie Kent in a moment with more from those who knew these men. But we're going to begin with New Jersey correspondent Trish Hartman live near the crash site with more on what we're learning at this hour tonight. Trish.
Well, Brian, an investigator with the National Transportation Safety Board is on the way here, and so tomorrow morning the investigation into the aircraft and the scene is expected to begin. For now, authorities are keeping the scene secure as federal authorities start to look into what went wrong here. 67-year-old pilot Monroe Smith of Glenside and 45-year-old photographer Christopher Doherty of Orland died when Chopper 6 crashed in Burlington County last night. Footage from the air taken by another Philadelphia station shows the debris still smoking in the Wharton State Forest.
I know that our thoughts are with the pilots, their families, and the media community.
Chopper 6 had just wrapped up an assignment in the Galloway Township area and was making its way to the Northeast Philadelphia Airport around 8 p.m. last night. New Jersey State Park Police received a call around 10:50 p.m. about the missing helicopter. Around midnight, the chopper was found.
A New Jersey State Park police officer located and confirmed a debris field a few hundred yards off of Mullica River Road in Washington Township, Burlington County.
Flight tracker data shows the aircraft's altitude between 1,000 and 1,400 feet, depicted by the green line. Its altitude drops as it returned to Philadelphia. The helicopter was a 2013 American Eurocopter AS-350A Star and was leased by Channel 6 from U.S. Helicopters Incorporated, which has a long history with 6ABC. Now, federal agencies will investigate what happened. The FAA was on scene around 3:15 a.m. but couldn't do much before daylight.
Due to the remote location of the scene and the limited visibility, it was determined at that point that the investigation will be suspended until sometime after daybreak.
Now, the wreckage is back in a very remote and wooded area of the state forest, about a few miles from where we are right now. New Jersey State Park Police and state police are closing some of the roads and keeping that area secure until more federal agencies and that investigator from the NTSB arrive. Again, that is expected tomorrow morning. Reporting live in Chemung Township, New Jersey, Trish Hartman, Channel 6 Action News. Brian.
Okay. Trish, thank you. Monroe and Christopher were an unseen part of what we do here every day. 365 days a year, as long as the weather allowed. The crew manning Chopper 6 would log hundreds of miles, if not many more than that. When urgency mattered, they got to the story to send it home to all of us. And they did it with professionalism, devotion, and pride. Action News' Maggie Kent live outside the hangar that was home to that crew. Maggie, these guys loved their jobs and were loved by so many in the process.
So many people reaching out to me today, Brian, to share their condolences, but also to share the beautiful stories that Chris and Monroe carried with them and shared the brightness of their lives with so many people here. Even the woman working the front desk says she couldn't stop but to notice Monroe was the coolest guy in the room, no matter who was in the room. This is a new picture that we just got in of Chris. He was our photographer that was on board last night as the helicopter went down. Christopher Doherty of Orland was 45 years old. As I mentioned, he's our photographer. He was survived by 2 daughters and a wife and was said to play guitar at times in the office from time to time, waiting on his next assignment, a lover of music, and he shared that love with so many who knew him. Last night, we also lost our pilot, Monroe Smith of Glenside. He was 67 years old, a military veteran who I'm told was so proud of one of his sons, also a military pilot, and he could not stop bragging about his new grandbaby to anyone who would stop and listen. As I mentioned, people here say he was the coolest guy in the room. Our photographer and pilot on board were highly experienced and well known in their community, and they are described as the best guys you would want to know. Family men who would do anything for the ones that they loved, with years of experience on board this aircraft. Chopper 6 and those who fly in it are an essential role of our news gathering process, and they take viewers to where we otherwise could never get to. Condolences are pouring in, some of them coming from Lieutenant Scott Passman, who flies for the Philadelphia Police Department and would often run into our crew members here at Northeast Airport.
It hits home because every night we're up, doing the same thing. Over my career, myself as well as my colleagues, we've lost several people that we were close to that were just some phenomenal pilots. So it definitely takes its toll. It was shocking to hear and very sad to hear. And we really feel for their families, especially this time of year. It was just horrible news that we got.
I want to also start by acknowledging that one of our media colleagues from 6ABC is here, and I wanted to acknowledge their loss, a loss that we are all too familiar with after losing a helicopter and their colleagues. So our hearts are with you, and we've reached out to 6ABC to make sure that they know we're there to help them through this tragic event.
And U.S. Helicopters Incorporated actually employed Monroe and Chris. Their team sent out a statement saying, in part, we deeply sympathize with their families. We share in their grief as a result of this tragic event, and we will share arrangements in accordance with the family's wishes. Again, Ryan, I just can't say enough about the impact that these 2 gentlemen had on all of the people that they met. One of the other pilots telling me sometimes they would land Chopper 6, and it's such a landmark, it's such an icon for people that people would come, and Monroe and Chris would always take the time to talk with people and show them the chopper if they had the opportunity to. They were proud men, proud of their jobs, but no more proud of anything in their lives other than their family. Everyone who we spoke to talk about how important they were to the ones that they loved and how they would do anything for their families. Those are who we are thinking of tonight. We're live at Northeast Airport. Maggie Kent, Channel 6 Action News. Brian.
Yeah, so well said, Maggie. You talked about how cool Monroe was. It was obvious you have to be cool and calm under the pressure under which they thrived every day, and they were just so good at what they did. Maggie, thank you. We want to let you know that we have seen and have been overwhelmed by your comments today, the outpouring of condolences you've shared on social media. It is not lost on us for a single second that so many of you view this family as your family. We are deeply grateful for that, and we feel the same way. Please know how much your words are helping all of us right here today. We also want to let you know we'll be sharing more on the investigation, of course, more on our colleagues as we learn more as the investigation unfolds. 2 other news here tonight, and word that all lanes on Route 202 and King of Prussia are back open now, exactly 1 week after a sinkhole forced its closure. This afternoon, PennDOT announced that the right lane on the southbound side reopened between Solon Boulevard and Henderson Road. At one point last Friday, all lanes in both directions were shut down after a second sinkhole opened up. Prosecutors in Philadelphia made it official today, formally charging a man with rape and murder in a 20-year-old cold case. Elias Diaz was arraigned this morning, 1 day after investigators revealed a DNA link they believe identifies him as the notorious Fairmount Park rapist. Diaz was arrested over the weekend for a series of slashings at Pennypack Park last month. Action News' Taronda Thomas live at police headquarters tonight with the very latest on today's developments. Taronda.
Well, Brian, that series of slashings along Pennypack Park Trail is what led investigators to Elias Diaz. They arrested him and they took his DNA. Well, now the Philadelphia District Attorney's Office says that DNA is a match for the DNA found at the scene of the murder of Rebecca Park. It's a case one former Philadelphia cop never forgot.
It was always a case that bothered me a lot.
Because before Michael Chitwood was sheriff in Volusia County, Florida, he was a lieutenant with the Philadelphia Police Department, responding to the original call of Rebecca Park vanishing on July 13th, 2003.
And it was very, very neat and orderly apartment, and it also gave us a message that something was horribly wrong.
Park had gone jogging in Fairmount Park when she was raped and murdered. 2 decades later, police arrest the man who they think killed her, 46-year-old Elias Diaz. The district attorney's office has now charged him with a list of crimes, including murder, rape, and aggravated indecent assault. DNA linked Diaz to Park's murder, and it could also link him to other crimes.
And then it was, okay, there is a serial rapist out there.
With 2 more rapes in 2003 in Fairmount Park and another in 2007 in Pennypack Park. Investigators are looking into whether Diaz is connected to those.
And the victims gave really good descriptions. I mean, even the way he held the knife.
A different knife attack is what led to his arrest at this encampment on December 17th. Police say he was wielding a machete when he slashed a bicyclist and a jogger on Pennypack Park Trail in November. DNA collected after that arrest is what connected Diaz to the Rebecca Park murder, a relief to this former Philadelphia cop.
Just look at the continuity of what these detectives did over a 20-year period. They never, ever stopped.
Now, in 2003, police did take DNA from the Rebecca Park murder case, and they connected it to those 2 other rape cases that happened in that same park. Investigators are looking for anyone with more information that could lead to additional charges against Diaz. They say if you have information, contact Philadelphia Police. We're live at Philadelphia Police Headquarters. Taronda Thomas, Channel 6 Action News. Brian?
Taronda, thank you. A Bucks County mother admitted today to murdering her 2 sons in May of 2022. Trin Nguyen entered a guilty plea, will be spending the rest of her life behind bars. She shot her sons, ages 9 and 12, in their home in the 100 block of Timber Ridge Road in Upper Makefield. She also tried to shoot her 22-year-old neighbor. Today's guilty plea spares Nguyen from a possible death penalty. Still ahead on Action News tonight, a Delaware County man is fulfilling his late wife's dream. Ahead, the thoughtful gifts he's delivering to women all across our region. Cecily.
Well, Brian, we have a bit of a cool down for our first full day of winter on Friday, but then temperatures climb over the weekend. Of the latest in the AccuWeather 70 forecast.
Those stories and much more when Action News continues right here on a Wednesday night. Well, during this season of giving, we wanted to shine a light on a man for whom that season lasts all year. Leo Bata lost his wife to breast cancer in 2018. It was an ordeal that, while deeply painful, opened the door to a community of women in need of the same kind of support his wife already had. So he set out to provide it in her name. Community journalist Nick Idenisi now with our hometown hero tonight.
My wife Tricia was diagnosed with triple-negative breast cancer. When she met a lot of people at Lankenau, she said, when I'm better, I want to start doing something to help these people get the things that they need to be comfortable while they're going through their chemo days. Unfortunately, Tricia passed away in June of 2018. All of our grandkids called her Grammy. So it's beautiful. Started planning on putting Grammy's gifts together where we would start out by delivering gift bags just to the patients at the hospitals. I think if she had survived, she would have been doing this along with me. We put in a hand lotion, a chapstick. We put some little treats in there. Then we put some socks, and we put a hat in each bag. We bring them to the hospitals or the centers 20, 30, 40 at a time, depending on how many patients they have. After last week, we delivered over 600 bags.
Hi, Leo. Thank you.
Today, we're dropping off our gift bags at Alliance Cancer Center at Mainline Health's Lankenau Hospital location. Cancer can be devastating physically. Treatment days are usually pretty rough. This gives them a little bit of happiness for that one time while they're sitting in the chemo chair.
This is really nice. I have been diagnosed with stage 3 triple-negative breast cancer. It makes so much of a difference because it's people who don't know you yet they care enough about you to give you something. And it doesn't matter how small or how big. It's just a thought from a stranger that makes a world of difference. I know it does for me, and I'm sure it will for other people. My grandson is going to take those.
Tricia was always the kind of person that would help somebody. I think it's a great way to remember her legacy, because that's the way she was. She was a very giving person.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Tell us about a hometown hero at work in your community. Share their story at 6abc.com/heroes so we can feature their story right here on Action News at 6.
Should be a good one. Also, Joel Embiid, 12 straight games with at least 30 points.
Yeah,
That's incredible.
He's on a tear for sure. Deuces, thank you. Cecily Tynan standing by with that AccuWeather forecast coming up next.
Action News Sports is sponsored by the Ciocca dealerships, with 42 dealerships and 25 brands in Pennsylvania and New Jersey. Experience the difference in person or at CioccaDealerships.com.
To Cecily now with the AccuWeather forecast as we head into a calm stretch, which should last through Christmas.
Yeah, it's great for traveling as well. No big troubles at all. Let's go live, or actually earlier today, not live because the sun set, but earlier today, the Action Cam taking a look up and seeing sunshine and blue skies. And then we did have some midday clouds, but the clouds clearing out nicely in time for a beautiful sunset. Our friend Norm Shannock sending us this great looking shot from Lambertville. Now tomorrow we will have a lot of sunshine, but heading towards the weekend, the clouds really ramp up. On Saturday, it's going to be pretty gray, although it's going to be dry. So no moisture really in the clouds. Maybe squeeze out a sprinkle, nothing more than that. And then as we head to Christmas Day, still more clouds and sunshine, but we will stay dry and temperatures will be climbing as we head through the weekend. Currently Philadelphia 43 degrees, down from a high of 46, which is 1 degree above average, so it's seasonable. Allentown 38 degrees, Exton 39, Cape May 43. Another great night for making snow at the ski resorts in the Poconos. Lake Harmony currently 27 degrees. Satellite radar showing no big organized storm systems. There is some shower activity that's moving into Texas, but we have pretty quiet conditions for traveling. So tomorrow, a big travel day. Minimal weather concerns across the southern plains with some wet weather. That kind of stretches towards the Chicago area by Friday. The only big concerns out to the west. There's 2 storms, one moving in near Los Angeles and Phoenix, another one in the Pacific Northwest, and that will cause some moderate travel delays. But all in all, for December, we have some pretty quiet conditions. For tonight, just a few patchy clouds as a December chill. Overnight low down to 32 degrees. A little bit of a breeze, but winds not all that gusty. And tomorrow we bring back the sunshine. Lehigh Valley, 43 degrees. Philadelphia, lots of sunshine with light winds. 46 degrees at the shore. 45 degrees as we say hello winter. Winter officially arriving at 10:27 tomorrow evening. This is when the sun's direct rays are over the Tropic of Capricorn. Northern hemisphere is tilting away from the sun. That's why the daylight is so short this time of the year, but it will start to increase as we head into the new year. So the exclusive AccuWeather 7-day forecast for your Thursday, a really nice day. Sunshine, just a few fair weather clouds. That high, a seasonable 46 degrees. Friday is our first full day of winter, and it's going to feel like it. We have a brief cool down under partly sunny skies with a high of 41 degrees. And the weekend, it clouds up. Again, maybe a sprinkle on Saturday, nothing more than that, 45 degrees. Sunday, Christmas Eve, yeah, no trouble for Santa, 49 degrees. And then Christmas Day, it's going to be somewhat mild with a high of 52 degrees. Again, more clouds and sunshine, but I think we'll get some peaks of sunshine. Tuesday, start of Kwanzaa, increasing clouds with some rain developing, 53 degrees, and it looks like some of those showers will be lasting into Wednesday. Very mild with a high of 56 degrees. So all in all, pretty quiet conditions as we head towards Christmas.
Very good. Okay. Cecily, thank you. ABC's World News Tonight with David Muir is next on Channel 6. Action News continues next at 6:30, wherever you stream 6ABC, and 10 o'clock on PHL 17. Then join Rick Williams, Cecily Tynan, and Deuces Rogers for Action News at 11, right here on Channel 6. For the entire Action News team, most especially tonight, the families of the crew from Chopper 6, Monroe Smith, Christopher Doherty, we hold you in our hearts with sorrow and gratitude, profound respect and deep love. We are honored to have called you loved ones, our colleagues. We are crushed by their loss. We are blessed by their lives. Good night.
Action News is sponsored by Thomas Jefferson University. We've educated nurses for more than 130 years and have over 11,000 alumni who influence patient care every day. At Jefferson, we know nursing. Jefferson, redefine possible.